We're going to talk now about who could be the next white ball head coach after Matthew Mott stood down earlier on this week as the white ball head coach, leaving Marcus Trescothick in charge in the search for the permanent replacement. That begins. So there's been a number of names suggested going around. Mike Hussey, Jonathan Trott, Owen Morgan was somebody that our Steve Harmison had liked the idea of. He's ruled himself out of taking the job. And also Freddie Flintoff comes up too. That's an interesting conversation. Here to talk through it with us is talkSPORT's former presenter and England's former fast bowler, Darren Gough. Goughy, how are you?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. What a lovely day it is.
Where are you? Where are you in the world right now, Darren?
Well, I was in Scotland yesterday, in Aberdeen, but I'm back now, back at home, just sitting and chilling out and talking to you two.
Lovely stuff. Well, thank you for coming on with us. Freddie Flintoff, the idea of him being the white ball head coach, what's your initial response to that?
Listen, I honestly believe when you're at that level, the amount of time you get with the players, I think it is about personality. I think it's about creating an environment that everybody feels comfortable in. There is actually not that much coaching. And remember, an head coach is there to oversee everything. You can still put the coaches in place that have got, if you want to call experience in personal coaching, because we all have coached at some point in our lives. Myself, Flintoff, Trescothick, they've all done it. Brendan McCullum literally had one job and then he was the England test coach, you know? So that's how it works. It doesn't really matter if you've got experience in that business. If you know the game, and you go into it and you've got a personality and you demand a dressing room and command a dressing room and gain respect from players, I have no problem if Andrew Flintoff was going to be the next England white ball coach. No problem at all. A lot of coaches around the country might get upset because they think they should get the role. But for me, it's not about doing a coaching badge. It's not about getting experience. You do it as you go along and you learn.
And
all the coaches in all the tournaments throughout the world get put into positions without any experience.
And with that in mind, Darren, do you think that he would do a good job if given the role?
Absolutely. He's a tremendous personality. He commands respect all around the world. His cricketing CV says it all. And like I said, the players are all there. The players are terrific players. They've been coached. They're playing in tournaments non-stop. It's not like 10, 15 years ago when you used to get 6 months off to work on your game. It's hard to work on your game. When you lose form, it takes a lot of balls to hit, a lot of balls. An England coach hasn't got time there to go and throw 1,000 balls a day at one of his players. He has to have his own personal coaches, goes back to his counties. There's other coaches, people use their own coaches now who are not attached to counties as well. So it's all about all rush now, short tournaments in a short period of time. And Andrew Flintoff, I would have no problem with it at all. I'd have no problem with Andy Flower coming back. You've got to support whoever gets that job.
It's nice to hear your thoughts, Darren, on how much a personality matters, especially when it means going in and taking things over and having sometimes to start from scratch. But I think Freddie Flintoff is such a personality for cricket, not being a cricket purist myself, but even like a league of their own, when you see him doing that, when you see him doing Top Gear, he is a face that's so recognisable and synonymous with cricket, even if you're not a big cricket fan. So I think there is almost a little bit of an angle there to get him in, to bring more eyes to the sport, possibly. But also what happened to him with that serious car accident and how that really affected things too when he was filming for Top Gear. And when he made his return back to cricket following that accident, there was this brilliant speech that went around, and the ECB had put it up on one of the channels on social media. It was Flintoff in Barbados, and he was given Adil Rashid the honour of presenting him with his 100 cap. If you haven't heard it, here it is, and this is what makes, I think, Flintoff so special.
Yeah, this is a milestone which I'm thrilled to give, seeing as that Rash was in the squad. You're the last player that I toured with. I remember you coming into the side as this young lad, full of mystery, full of wonder, full of mischief, and loads of ability. And over the years, I think everyone in this group, myself, anybody who's played with you, has been so proud of how you've gone about your business. Multiple World Cup winner, the best in the business at what you do around the world. But more importantly, Rash, you as a person, you're one of them cricketers, you look around this group, you look at how much you mean to all these guys. You're such an integral part of this squad. And the other thing is you give back, whether it's in Bradford with your academies. You know, the other day, yesterday, I saw you spending all this time with a leg spinner, a young kid, coaching him. And to me, that is just as important as everything else you do. To me, you epitomise everything that England cricket is about. It's been a privilege for me to tour with it. It's a privilege for me to give you this cap. And tonight, boys, we're in Barbados. It's a full house. We're living the dream. Let's live the dream with Rash tonight. I'm so excited, and I'm sure everybody else is. So, Rash, come and get this cap. 100, but you've not stopped yet. There's plenty more in you. Well done, son.
Freddie Flintoff giving Adil Rashid his 100th cap, but when that clip was going around on social media, it was trending how much of a personality he was, and I think when you hear him speak there, that's a true guy. How can you not like him if he was your coach?
Exactly. We've all done that situation as well. There's a lot of ex-cricketers who've gone in and presented players with their caps. It's one thing that England cricket do, and I think they do it really, really well. And I think it's important not to forget the history around and players that have played, presenting new players with special caps or test debuts. I think it's a brilliant thing England do, and I've been lucky enough to do that on 3 or 4 occasions. I've also been lucky enough to be a consultant for England and New Zealand on the New Zealand tour a few years ago, and that's how Freddie started. You know, we came off Top Gear for whatever reasons. We all know the well-documented reasons, the accident, and he needed a focus. And Freddie and cricket, he's had time out of the game. He's still kept in touch with it, same as I had when I was working at talkSPORT. We love the game. You look around, you see things differently when you've been outside of that bubble. You're not too matey with everyone who's still involved in the game. And he's come in, he's fresh, he's hungry, he loves the game, he's missed it, and he's got the buzz back. And I love seeing Freddie like that, because Freddie in cricket kit for me, it'll do for me, no problem.
Darren, can I ask you your thoughts on Brendan McCullum leading both the Test and the white ball side? Is that a combination that you think could work?
Well, he might have to move to England. I think he still goes back to New Zealand for quite a large chunks of the time. He leaves the selection down to probably Rob Key and some of the selectors. I always thought Brendan McCullum would have probably been better suited to one-day cricket than he would be to the Test game. But the way England are playing Test cricket is brilliant to watch. Yeah, it has its criticisms at times, but the way they played against the West Indies, a poor West Indies side, let's be honest. But England were excellent. Lots of young players coming in. And Brendan creates exactly what Fred would do, a relaxed environment. But doing both jobs, I think it's a big ask. I really do now. There's a lot of time on the road, and to do 2 jobs, I think it would be difficult. So having mixed coaches, you've got Trescothick does the Test stuff, and Paul Collingwood and Chetan Patel. And then on the one-day side, you would have whoever it would be. I know Trescothick stepped in on an interim basis, but I don't think Brendan would want to lose markers from his coaching staff for the Test game.
Darren, a lot of focus there on Freddie Flintoff and then McCullum, but say it's neither of those two. Who do you think it will be? I know you're a connected guy with cricket. What do you think is going to happen here?
Who would I give it to? I'd give it to Fred. I'd give it to Flintoff. Okay. The way we are going at the moment, the way cricket is, I've got a coaching gig next month, in the next few weeks, over in the Cayman Islands, right? I get there 2 days before the tournament starts. How much coaching do you think I can do? Yeah. You know, you can't do a lot. You're there for your personality, for that inspiring words at times that are needed. And that's the way coaching is going. There's lots of work. You do work when you're away on tour and stuff, but you're on the road constantly. And I think Andrew Flintoff would be good. But I've said that, Andy Flower, if he was to come back, I mean, he is the best coach in the world at this moment in time. Andy Flower is the best coach in the world. But it's what I would like to see, my own personal opinion, is, as I said when I worked for talkSPORT and Drive for many years, the 100, every coach in the 100 should have been English, should have been an England coach, potentially for the future to be an England coach. But they never did it. They got coaches in from South Africa, from Australia, giving them all experience, and then they go and get all the IPL gigs and all that. The coaches in during the 100, our own premier competition, they call it, should have been about developing our own coaches. And then we wouldn't be in a position now where we're saying, well, who's going to coach England? Who's going to coach England? And we're going for someone who's got no coaching badges. But as I said, I think what it needs now is a person that's got personality and take England out of a place where we've just got stuck. We were the best in the world, but the last 2 tournaments, we've just been a little bit stuck on the way we want to play.
Goughy, you've got a bit of chat. You could do a job, no doubt about it. Darren Gough, former talkSPORT and former fast bowler for England. Thank you very much for taking the time to come on and talk to us. We'll see you and hear from you soon, hopefully, okay?
See you soon.
Cheers,
Have a good day.
Thanks, Goughy. Take care. Coming up for you next, we're going to talk about Manchester City after they sold a player who's never played for them for over £25 million. You're listening to Shabana Hearn and Rory Jennings here on talkSPORT with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.